Hey, Mom. Can I make cookies? Can I make cookies? It's important. For school. For drama. Welcome to my cooking show. So today we're gonna be making opera. Chocolate chip cookies. The first step is to line baking sheets. I'll get two out. The baking sheets represent the foundation of opera. Because these are the stepping stones for which opera will begin. Some fun facts about opera is the first operas date back to 1958 and 1600. 1598 and 1600. Since the Italians were bad at keeping records, and they don't even know what year opera started, I'm not gonna weigh the ingredients, I'm gonna put them in measuring cups because that's not as exact. Just like the Italians. Stupid Italians. So the first step to making opera is adding 1.5 cups of Mozart. Because Mozart is a very vital role. He played a very vital role in operas because he wrote literally so many of them. The first opera Mozart wrote, he wrote when he was 12 years old, and it was performed when he was 13. He was just a young boy. He was like having operas performed. His first opera was called Bastien and Bastien. Und Bastien, sorry, because it's German. I can't remember what it was about really, but I think it's about like 3 people becoming friends. And he was 13, it was 1 act. Pretty cool stuff. Here's our Mozart. So the next step is to add the Beethoven. Only a little bit of Beethoven, because Beethoven only wrote 1 opera. He was important though because he wrote many, many overtures. Beethoven. Beethoven only wrote 1 opera and it took him 11 years to write because he was deaf. And his deafness drove him to depression. And then the next, this is where we get some tea in here. The next step is to add some England. England was salty that Italy had opera, so they decided to get their own opera. Okay, and now we're gonna mix those all together to start a good, nice foundation for our opera. The next step is to add Italy. Here's Italy. It's unsalted because they weren't salty because they started opera. So then we're gonna add some arias, which are the songs they sing in opera. So I'm gonna add some arias because they're sweet and they're nice and good. Our next step is to add in some light dialogue. Light dialogue. Because there's not a ton of dialogue in opera. It's mostly just the arias. So it's like, it's not too much, but it's packed with information. So we've got our Italian language, the arias, and the dialogue. Packed with information. So then, we gotta get some corny love stories because operas are pretty corny. Mom, can you help me? Thanks. Back to your regularly scheduled me being stupid. Oh wait, we never left. Okay, so now that we've got the corny love stories in here, which was a lot harder than I wanted it to be, we're gonna beat them together for unity. So the next thing we're gonna add is one bit of copying Shakespeare. Some of you will understand that reference. If you don't, it's a reference to something wrong. Please just, yeah. The next thing we're gonna add is some Bühnenfestspiel. Hi. Is some Bühnenfestspiel. The Bühnenfestspiel it takes 3 days to perform. It's the world's first stage festival, and it was performed because this dude named Warren, he decided it was a good idea to write a 15-and-a-half-hour opera, and then thought, hey, maybe no one wants to sit through that, and said, let's take our time, add very slowly, and perform this over 3 days. This dude Warren also created a character theme. So if you think like in Captain America, the Captain America March, the do 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 do, that's a character theme. Warren created it. If you think in Into the Woods, Rapunzel's that's a character theme. Our next step is to add Germany. So Germany, they only contributed a little bit because mostly what they contributed was Mozart, but it had a huge lasting effect on the flavor of the whole history of opera. So now we're gonna mix it all together again. Stir up the pot. Now we're gonna mix it all together again, just to ensure that everything is incorporated into the history of opera. So the last thing we have to add into our beautiful opera is opera's about Cinderella's story. They all bring their own thing to the table, but they're all the same, and there's a lot. They're still good and we appreciate them, but there's so many, and it's all the same thing. So now we're gonna mix that in. And our opera history will be ready. So now, taking all our history and knowledge about opera, we're gonna form them into their own shows. So everyone is an opera. While we're doing this, I'll give you some more fun facts about opera. One time, the Pope went in and saw some scandalous behavior happening at the opera house, and he declared it immoral and wanted it burned to the ground. In 1711, soprano Francesca Cuzzoni. I don't know how to speak Italian. I can barely speak English. Francesca Cuzzoni refused to sing the aria that Mozart wrote for her. Or no, Handel. It's not all about Mozart. Handel wrote an aria called Falsett Imagine. And he wrote it for her to sing. And she refused to sing it. And so Handel threatened to throw her out of a window if she didn't. And so she sang the aria. Next fun fact. If you're ever at an opera in Europe and you start whistling at the actors instead of cheering, that is the equivalent of booing them. And the last fun fact about opera is that operas are often based on Greek tragedy or Shakespeare. So these people really liked copying Shakespeare, and they also liked copying Greeks. History of opera. Oh geez, I'm so dumb. Now our history of opera is all ready to go. All because of all the elements that we mixed together. It looks great. And opera's still relevant today because it's a good escape for people to escape their lives.